of the Fight Night Forecast, where we highlight, recap, and cover all things boxing. Quick shout out to Young Winston. Go to youngwinston.com for all of your men's fashion needs. Thank you again, Young Winston, for sponsoring this episode. Let's get right into it. Y'all see the thumbnail. Canelo versus Benavidez next. We'll get more into it here in just a minute. But first, let's start with this past weekend of boxing. Also, hey, man, I'm back in the studio. Back in the studio, man. Happy. Glad to not be on the road. Glad to not be talking to you guys in a car. Hey, what's up, Playland? What's going on, baby? Hopefully everything's going good over there in the world of drumming, man. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, so this past weekend of boxing, we had Chantel Cameron, and she fought Katie Taylor for the second time. Katie Taylor ended up winning by majority decision. A lot of people thought that Chantel may or may not have been robbed, but I think Katie Taylor made the adjustments that needed to be made and won the fight. That's just, I think it is what it is. I think she just came back, did it right, and got it. Obviously, Chantel, she won back in May, so this is the rematch, second fight. Yeah, so I think we might be seeing a third. They're both 1-1 now, both great fighters. Why not see a third fight? You know what I mean? People were tuning into it. I tuned into it. I thought it was a good bout. With it being such a close decision too, maybe, more people would be interested in seeing a third fight, since people thought that she may or may not have been robbed. What's that? Playland said, hits a little different with a viewer, huh? Most definitely. For sure. This is my, I've had a few people pop in and out, but I've never had anybody comment before. So this is pretty cool. So, yeah, appreciate you again tuning in, bro. But, let's move on. Let's move on to the big bout this past weekend. We had Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. Benavidez, the Mexican monster. I'm gonna say it. He more or less dominated the fight. I think Benavidez definitely showed a complete package that night. You know what I mean? He did a phenomenal job. He outboxed him. Andrade had his moments. Andrade had his moments where he was popping off quick combos. Andrade looked good, came in looking good, looking sharp, had fast hands, quick feet. I think Benavidez just literally waited it out and outboxed him, caught him with that shot. I want to say it was like an overhand right or something like that. Caught him with it, stumbled him, and then from the fourth round on, after he got that knockdown, just pretty much hunted him down the rest of the way. So, and then, they threw the towel in after the sixth. The ref kind of came to the corner and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to watch another round like that." Because once Benavidez knocked him down, it didn't seem like Andrade really recovered. Andrade kind of turned into survival mode the rest of the time. And the ref came over to the corner of Andrade and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to watch another round like that round I just watched." The sixth round, there were a couple moments that Andrade stepped up and threw something, but for the most part, he was literally in survival mode, running, barely making it through. So, they called it in between rounds. The corner said, "Ref, just call it," and it was over with. So, again, Andrade, I thought, came out looking good. He looked, quick, looked pretty strong, but it's just, I think it turned into Benavidez is just that good. I think he's just one of the best talents in the division. He's ran through a lot of good fighters already at 168, Caleb Plant being one of them, and Andrade, and, I think really, he's been the interim WBC now for a grip. I think it's time. I think it's time to see Benavidez and Canelo. The WBC met, I believe, just yesterday, and Benavidez played his case to him. And I believe now, as of this week, Benavidez is now the WBC mandatory for Canelo. I think the clock, they didn't put a timetable on it yet, but I think the clock is gonna begin ticking now on when a deal needs to be made. Um, what did he say? Playland said, when we getting CP on here, hey man, tag him in the comments, bro. I'd love to have Caleb Plant come on here. You know, we're about to have some fight interviews coming up. I've been in the DMs of a decent amount of fighters, getting some responses. We're just trying to line up some times. So I'm hoping to, you know, eventually down the road, get it to where, you know, we have maybe an interview a week or something like that, or maybe an interview at least a couple a month or something. You know, I want to start getting some pro interviews in here. Maybe some, you know, we got the Olympics coming up. I know a few friends that are competing in the Olympics, so maybe I'll get them in here. So we'll see what we can do. But yeah, the WBC has made Benavidez the #1 mandatory challenger now for Canelo's WBC belt. We'll see what the timetable is on that, on when they have to do negotiations. I'm hearing plans that Canelo may or may not already have an opponent for May. But here's what I think. And I was listening to a little bit of Showbiz the other day, and he talked about this as well, and it kind of resonated with me. Shout out Showbiz if you're watching. But I think that it would be dope if we had Benavidez, Canelo for May and September. Why not in that contract just go ahead and put in an automatic rematch clause no matter which way it goes, and we see both of them fight in May, Cinco de Mayo, and then Mexican Independence Day. Because we already know this fight, and the WBC, the chairman of the WBC, he mentioned it in their meeting. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. It was either Monday or yesterday. I can't remember. But he mentioned that they believe, even with, you know, the problems with piracy and all that stuff kind of going on, I think that they'll still do in the millions of pay-per-view buys. You know, they're saying that it could be, I don't know, I think he mentioned between 2 and 3 million pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean? So they're trying to find a way to kind of cut down on the piracy, obviously. You know, I don't know if there's enough technology out yet to really hit that. But, you know, who knows? I still think it's going to draw a lot of pay-per-view buys. So I'm thinking, man, if that first fight, especially if it goes well, right? Maybe it's a close decision. Maybe it's an upset. Maybe Benavidez wins, right? Who knows? Or even if Canelo wins, really, right? I think maybe you probably get a lot of retention on that, and people would watch the rematch, especially if it's an upset, you know? Because I really do believe that this fight for Canelo is much more, I don't want to say important, but it's much more meaningful, I think, for Canelo, because I think in a lot of ways it replicates his fight that he had with Floyd when he was young. You know, he was a younger up-and-coming fighter. Benavidez is a younger up-and-coming fighter right now. Benavidez has a lot of time to bounce back from this if he were to lose, right? Canelo, I'm not saying Canelo's at the end of his career, but he's definitely at the peak of his career, right? And so these wins he's going to have now through on the rest of his career it's going to be make or break, right? You know, it's he's kind of putting the icing on the top of his legacy cake, you know what I mean? So I think that it's much more meaningful in a lot of ways for Canelo to have this win. Benavidez could lose this, and I still think Benavidez is going to be dominant, you know, as the years come on, because he's not even in his technical prime yet, right? A lot of people believe that a fighter's prime 28 to like 35-ish, right? Obviously there's outliers on each side, but still, nonetheless, yeah, I think Benavidez is gonna have plenty of time to bounce back still. So, but how crazy would that be if Benavidez comes in and pulls this upset, which, you know, I don't think is out of the ballpark. You know what I mean? Especially with the way Benavidez fights, he's much bigger than Canelo. He's really big for that division, and I think that's really one of the main reasons why he beat Andrade. I think Andrade looked good, but Andrade's not a natural 168er. And really, I'm not sure Benavidez is a natural 168er. I think he's probably more of a natural 175er. Could be, and it could be ending his career in cruiserweight. We don't know. You know, as you get a little older, it's tougher to make, you know, cut all that weight. So we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. Let's check the chat here for a second. Anything a new upcoming for Fight Night forecast, and when is the next Canelo fight? Canelo, I believe Canelo is going to be fighting in May. I want to say Cinco de Mayo. That's when he said he's going to come back after his defeat of Jermell Charlo. But you know, I don't think it's necessarily a matter of when he's going to fight. I think it's going to be a matter of who. Obviously, a lot of us want to see Benavidez fight him. Benavidez just fought last weekend for you guys who are just tuning in. But I think that he could be fighting Jaime Munguia. They've rumored a possible David Morrell. They've rumored a what's his name, Edgar Berlanga. They've put a lot of these rumors in, and a lot of these guys are. I just don't understand. I don't understand, and maybe some of you guys that are watching, or will be watching this later when it's posted. If you guys know something I don't, please feel free to be like, hey, this is my scoop on it, because I don't see a reason why Benavidez and Canelo doesn't happen. Like, can you give me, like, I want somebody to, maybe we'll make this a question of the week. We'll make this a young Winston question of the week. Is there a better fight out there for Canelo than David Benavidez? I don't see a better fight. I mean, money, the fact that they're both on PBC makes that an easy fight. Canelo's got his 3-fight PBC deal. David Benavidez I'm pretty sure his whole career's been on PBC, so that's easy. It could easily be fight of the year in 2024. If they do the rematch, you could possibly see 2 of the best fights in 2024. I really don't see a reason why Canelo David Benavidez doesn't happen. I don't see financially why anything. I think it's a win-win for everybody. Benavidez has earned it now. Canelo is at the top of his game. Both guys are healthy. Canelo has fixed his hand, you know what I mean? So he's not fighting with any injuries. He even said that in the last of his last fight against Jermell. He said, this is the best he's felt in forever. No injuries, no nagging. And I don't know. I really don't see why they're not the best, why they're not the next best fight, But so David Benavidez, he went to the WBC and he said, hey, I'm cool with May or September, whatever I got to do. My question for you guys is, maybe this is a double up follow-up question to the first question of the week. If Benavidez doesn't fight Canelo in May, and he does end up getting the Mexican Independence Day in September, what do you guys think? Do you think Benavidez takes a fight in between, stays tuned up, or that's almost a year off. That's what's 10 months? That'd be almost 10 months till next September. So, I don't know. He mentioned like using that time to prepare for Canelo, but rust is not good either. Maybe he takes maybe a little bit of a dust off fight or something like that in May, around May, or maybe right before May, something, just something to stay active in the ring. I think it'd be tough to not have a fight for almost a year, you know what I mean? And then come in there and fight Canelo. So let me know what you guys think about that too. That's a big thing on my mind. I was kind of wondering, if he doesn't fight till September, what does he do? Let's talk about the undercard real quick of Canelo Benavidez, or I'm already talking about Canelo Benavidez. Benavidez and Andrade. I do want to bring up Vito Malnicki won, and also Jermall Charlo had his comeback. He dominated Jose Benavidez. Benavidez was coming up pretty much 2 weight classes to fight him. We kind of saw that coming. I am very happy though that Jermall Charlo, won, and he looked good. His jab looked phenomenal. I think he's still got one of the best jabs in the game. He used that to his advantage, took care of business. It's just one of those things where I think he has a lot of rust. He needs to shake those, he had to shake that rust off. He got the rust taken out. Do I think he's ready for a big fight at 168 like he's thinking? I don't know. Still think it's weird that he didn't defend his belt and that he still has it at 160. I don't know. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's back. I think he needs to continue to get his mind straight. Obviously, he came in overweight. That wasn't a good look either. So I think, yeah, as of right now, to follow up on last week's video, I think Jamal saved the Charlo brothers' name. I think their stock is flatlined a little bit right now. I'm not going to say it's necessarily going up just yet, but it was tanking there for a minute, right? And then the fight happened. Jamal still looked good, looked sharp. I know it was against Jose Benavidez, who's not necessarily the best fighter, but I still think that he's maybe they've hit that plateau. There's still room to go up, right? And I think that Jamal said he wants to fight. I think he said at least 2 or 3 times in 2024. So maybe we'll see him again at the top of the year or whatever that may be. Maybe a February or March card, something like that. Maybe we see him on the undercard of whatever Canelo fight is next on the 5th. Whether it's Benavidez or whoever. So, but yeah. So let's talk about this upcoming weekend, and then we'll get into some announcements real quick. I haven't really given you guys any announcements for a minute, so we got a few good announcements that have just come up in the past few weeks. This weekend, just want to shout out Oscar Duarte. He's fighting this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee. So I have a decent relationship with Austin. We talk back and forth a lot. He's hopefully a fighter I'm going to have on the podcast soon. We try to link up before his fight, but camp gets busy, whatnot. So we're hoping to have him on the podcast soon. And best of luck to him this weekend. Also, my gym's having an amateur bout also here down in Nashville. That's going to be, it's an amateur card, so they're going to have I think it's probably 20 fights, something like that. So it's going to be there at the gym, fight night at the gym. So shout out to all my training partners, all my boys that are fighting this weekend. Hopefully, we all take the dub, So, absolutely. Well, let's get into some more pro bouts. Dulay's fighting December 1st, this Friday, December 1st. December 2nd, Michael Conlon versus Jordan Gill. That's 12 rounds at 130 junior lightweight. I think that's going to be in the morning. I want to say that is it's a top rank card. I'm not 100% sure on that, but should be a good card. I believe it's over across the pond. I want to say like Ireland or UK, somewhere over there. Also on December 2nd, this will be in the evening. We got Ryan Garcia fighting Oscar Duarte. Garcia is making his return after Gervonta Davis dropped him with a body shot back in whenever that was, April, I think March or April, something like that. So he's back. It's good to see him back again in the same year, not taking a bunch of time off. He's fighting. This is gonna be his first fight with Derek James as his head trainer. So that's that's something to watch out for. He dropped Joe Goosen after that fight. He moved to Dallas too. So he's just did a complete overhaul of his career. So he's moved out of the California area down to Dallas, new trainer. But he's fighting a hard-hitting, gritty fighter in Oscar Duarte. They mentioned that they wanted the Adrian Broner fight, and that might have been a bigger fight pay-per-view wise, but I think that I think Broner's actually fighting this weekend too on a small card or something, like a low-level pro card. But Broner was supposed to possibly fight Ryan Garcia, but they decided against that, and they actually ended up doing Duarte. And a lot of analysts are saying that Duarte is actually, he might not be the bigger name like Broner would be, but he's actually the tougher fighter. So applaud to Ryan Garcia for getting back in there so quickly, after a big loss, and B, like taking the toughest fight he can get. I think Duarte's got 28 fights. I want to say he's 26, 1-1. Tough dude, up and coming guy, just doesn't have a big name yet. This is kind of his step into the primetime light, so we'll see how he handles all that. And I'm excited to see it. That'll be 12 rounds at junior welter, 140 pounds. This is also Ryan's kind of his entrance into the 140-pound division to kind of see what all that's about. I could see maybe some fights down the road, maybe with him and Haney, him and Prograis, him and Teofimo Lopez, something like that, So let's see. Those are all rumored, you know, but we'll see how it goes. On the undercard, there's some actually this is pretty kind of a decently stacked card. Shane Mosley Jr. He's fighting at 160. That's obviously the son of Shane Mosley, the Sugar Shane Mosley. Floyd Schofield, Kid Austin. He's fighting. I want to say he's going to be at 135. He's fighting. Darius Fulgham. That's another 168 pounder. He is fighting on the card, and he's kind of one of the up and coming guys, almost on the same. I don't want to say the same level, but pretty close, same level as like, you know, David Morrell or you know, I don't know. I guess Berlanga. Maybe those guys are just a little bit further ahead. 'Cause I know Fulgham. I don't know. I think I want to say he's only like 11-0, 12-0, something like that. Maybe even less. He might be like 9-0. Not sure. But yeah. So that's good. And then Garcia's little brother, Sean Garcia, he's fighting. I like Sean Garcia, man. You know, 135 pounds as well. You know, tough little left-hander. I think he does a good job. He's exciting. So hopefully I want to say this would be like his 6th or 7th career fight or something like that, somewhere around there. So I'm excited to see him back in there, though. Let's roll into announcements and we'll wrap this up. We're already at the 20-something minute mark here. So announcements. We finally got Fury and Usyk. They are signed, done, dotted for February the 17th in Saudi Arabia. So we're going to see a heavyweight undisputed for the first time in a long time. You know, this might be the revival of the the heavyweight division. Maybe we'll see. You know, but nonetheless, we've been wanting this fight for a while. It was supposed to happen in December technically, but we're just happy it's happening. You know, so it'll be in February. It's going to hopefully kick off the top of the year here in a couple months. Very well. So also on top of that, they announced this almost the WBC called it like a heavyweight tournament almost. So we kind of have a heavyweight tournament. It's pretty cool. I believe when I was looking at it, 10 of these fighters fighting on this card, and I'll list them all out here in just a minute, are all the top 15 of top 15 of the heavyweight division ranked by the WBC. Let me see. What's worse, long-term 3 fights a year or being an NFL starting center? For brain damage? No idea. Actually, I think they say that the NFL's worse, man. Believe it or not. So, because I mean, it's just that repeated blows to the head, as opposed to like, you don't get hit with every single shot that somebody throws in boxing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. 3 fights a year, though, I don't think is horrible. I don't think any trauma to the brain's good trauma, but you know what I mean. I'm still out here getting hit in the head. Everybody's getting hit in the head. You know what I mean? So, not going to stop, especially when they're paying. They're paying, the way they pay. So, all right. So that heavyweight tournament card, though, we got Joshua. He's fighting Otto Wallen. That's going to be a decent fight. Wilder's fighting Parker. I think that's going to be a tougher fight right there. Then we have Daniel Dubois, who had that controversial loss to Usyk, who has most of the belts at heavyweight. He's fighting Jarrell Miller, Jarrell Miller is the guy that, if you go back a few shorts that I posted, he got into that like argument with Anthony Joshua, and they kind of went back and forth, talking about each other's moms and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's Jarrell Miller. Frank Sanchez is fighting Junior Fa. So, and then also on that, I know this is not a heavyweight, but the IBF cruiserweight title is on the line. Jayo Pataya is fighting. Actually, I don't think it's still to be announced. We don't know exactly who he's fighting, but they have him set on that card. That's going to be on December 23rd, Christmas Eve. So that'll be pretty dope, it'll be good to see that. But yeah, so kind of hype, man. We got some good fights coming up, and that December 23rd card, that's coming up pretty quick. Obviously, we have Devin Haney fighting on the 9th. I want to say, so that'll be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So yeah, man, pretty dope. We got a lot of stuff coming up, fight wise. Also, just saw this. Thought I'd throw it in there too as an announcement. Top Rank signed a pretty big deal with Venom, and I believe Venom still is signed with UFC too. So this is pretty big for Venom too. I don't know what all that means. If that means that fighters are gonna like have to start using their gloves or whatever when it comes to bouts or what all that means. I just know that their logo is now all over the Top Rank gym in Las Vegas, and I know that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like sponsorship opportunities there with that and whatnot. So, but yeah, so I thought it was a pretty big deal, and they already have UFC, and UFC is tied in with ESPN as well as Top Rank. So, just kind of one of those things where um, I don't know. We'll see what it means. If it turns into like a, how UFC has Venom on the gloves, all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, or Venom on the short. I don't know if they have Venom on the gloves, but I know they have Venom on the shorts. I thought or something, or they have their sweatsuits or Venom. But boxing is a little different though. I feel like UFC. I think those guys are kind of forced to wear that stuff, but boxing guys have their own side sponsorships and all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't know how that's gonna work. That's why I was kind of wondering if it's gonna be like if we got a dude that's signed to Everlast, it's like is he gonna have to use Venom gloves or like I don't know. I'm not sure. If you you might know in the comments. So I don't know at all. So if you have any idea on what that means, maybe you're a little might be a little more savvy with business and stuff like that. You guys might know. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. That's episode 30, man. This is a milestone, bro. The gang's growing. We're on the road to 1,000. If you saw my short I just posted last week, you know, we are at 560, so we hit our goal of 500. We're now looking at 1,000, and once we hit 1,000, you know what that means? We got another goal to set. Got another goal coming. So seriously, thank you guys. Though this is turning into a freaking dream, man. I can't believe that we've grown as fast as we've grown in the past few months. And the shorts are popping off. The episodes are still getting, the meat and potatoes are still getting, a good amount of views too. And I think that, man, things are just rolling, man. We're just talking about boxing, So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, post notifications, leave me a hate comment, leave me a love comment. Tell me if you want to see some more of something certain that you like. Let me know what you think. So I'm always open. Chats are open, DMs are open. Just started a Instagram page for Fight Night Forecast, so I'll be posting a lot of the reels and stuff similar to what I post shorts on YouTube, just trying to brighten the horizon a little bit. Excuse me, but yeah. So again, always love, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we will see y'all in the next one. Peace.